Connecting. Okay. Ay, wala pala ako na screen share. Sorry. Okay. So just a recap from our previous lesson no, last time sa world geography and tourism culture. So the Asia is one of the largest continents in the world, and which is we are discussing China actually. No, China is in the continent of Asia. It's also one of the largest countries when it comes to land region. So the continent of Asia has 45 different countries, and Asia can be divided into six subcontinents. You have Central Asia. It includes Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. You also have East Asia, which is China, Japan, Mongolia, Taiwan, North and South Korea. You also have North Asia, which includes Russia, and India subcontinent, such as India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. In Southeast Asia, where we belong, so you have Brunei, Cambodia, East Timor, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar or Burma, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. In Southwest, Apicas Campos. Ako na rin dalaon niya. Thank you. Pag snack sa mo, day. 10 na. So you also have Southwest Asia, which includes the Middle East, including Turkey, Iran, Cyprus, Israel, and Lebanon. So since China is part of Asia, but it's not part of Southeast Asia, no, but it's one of the largest again, it's one of the largest countries in Asia. It is because not just with the land region, no, but when it comes to their culture as well. Mulang ginatawag gani na ang Asia as Old Kingdom class, no? And China is one of those one of the largest civilizations and oldest civilizations together with India and even in the Egyptians. So we will be getting to know about the social structure, even when it comes to the characters and their usual like their religion and culture that they practice in China. So it comes to the social structure. Well, there's a debate if the Chinese are collectivist and individualist. If you mention Western culture, they're more on individualist, no? Most especially among Americans, no nga. They would like to do their work for themselves, meaning I'm doing this work no for my personal gain or I will be improved, no, or I will sa tawag na kanang murag ako ang matagaan o kanang merit, no, but sa Chinese culture it's more on collectivist. It is because ang ilahan ng ginakon is we work together as a team, no, and I'm doing this for the benefit of the group. So mo na ilang social structure. So na Chinese are collectivists, no. So their social structure is quite formal and very hierarchical. And like the Philippines, they're a very patriarchal country. Pero ang lahi sa to ano is um there's equity actually. I don't know if it's total equity, you know, but again, we do respect women here. No, we allow women to have power here in the Philippines. No, I do not know in China because again, they're really very patriarchal, meaning they prefer to have male leaders and mga father figures. No, and so it's very hierarchical, meaning you cannot surpass those who are in authority because they provide the decisions, they make the rules, and if naka sa ubos, subordinate ka, you need to follow. Same with sa ilahang family structure, no? Very hierarchical kaya lang family structure class. That is why um, prefer sa mga Chinese family ang eldest male, kaya siya manggod mo dala sa family name, sa family business, no? Unya, kuan gani, even as young as kon pa ng mga elementary class, even mo agtagi sa states no kalabanan nga mo handle lang mag-business mga bata diri gyud sa tuwing ana naman na dala naton ang culture nga bata pa lang gani or kanang wala pa siya of legal age gabanten siya sa tindahan gaapil na siya sa negosyo because yung anak kuan sa family ang mga Chinese, no, and even nadala na sa to here in the Philippines. And in the sense nga it's hierarchical because they would prefer male leaders who are in authority, and usually ang father, which is the head of the house, ang make og decisions, and they would prefer to have an eldest male child, no, or son, kaysa ang ilang eldest kay babayi. Kay para nila lalaki mo dapat ang modala. That's how hierarchical the Chinese are. So people are most comfortable in the presence of hierarchy in China. No? Unlike the communists where everyone is equal, no one is in control. No, ambot lang kaha, no, because again their social system is flawed. But sa Chinese, no, prefer nila ang naay persons in authority. They feel comfortable if there is a leader, most especially a father figure nga mo lead sa ilaha. The Chinese have a higher value placed on group cooperation and individual modesty. Because again, no, they're more on collectivist. Their social structure is more on with working with teams, no, not doing everything alone. Para nila is I'm going to do this one for the group for the good of the group, no, and if we work together we can achieve a lot of things. So mo na ilahang marag social structure or mindset, no, what they usually practice in their country. Time. So China is sometimes a day ahead of the United States. Now, the Chinese year is based on the cycles of the moon, which is called a lunar schedule. The Chinese do not view time as an absolute but more as a suggestion. The Chinese alphabet or characters. So there are actually 40,000 written Chinese characters. And did you know that the Japanese, Taiwanese, Korean, kanila mga characters, kanila mga sinulatan ba? Ambot lang ko kung na-mention ako ni sa inyo ha, or sa second year na ko ni na-mention na limot na jud ko. Same mga good setup. But gikan siya sa Chinese nga alphabet. Meaning, although, dagko man po cultures ang mga Japanese and Korean, dako na kasi influence among other countries, but their characters or their alphabet are from the Chinese. Nga, pag kuan nila, pag biya nila, like for example, ngita sila lang kagalingon nga culture or lain nga group, gidala siya punto nila, gi-adapt nila and they make it into their own. Per se, mer Japon, dili man duol-duol no, kay lahi man, very distinct man ang bala man nimong Korean ang character or Japanese or Chinese, no, pero ang symbols itself, no, inspired from the Chinese alphabet. So each character is learned by looking at it and memorizing it. What is amazing about the Chinese characters is that even one character can mean an entire word. Ito is, kung A ra ni siya, A ra dyan na siya. Dili siya minog entire word. Pero, sila ha, with one character only, it can mean wind, no? Or prosperity. Gamay ra dyan siya nga kon. Usa ra siya ka character, but it can mean a lot of things, no? Usa ka character, usa na siya kadako kay nga word, or taas kay nga word, like prosperity, life, no? Beauty, so yan na. Unlike the 26 letters of our alphabet, words cannot be sounded out by letter. Unlike like C or H, it has a distinct pronunciation, no, or it has a distinct sound in each letter. Sa Chinese alphabet, dili ing ana ilaha. Let's now proceed to the values and morals of the Chinese culture. So you have Confucianism, which is one of the religion, education, and giving out gifts. This is important class, no, because most especially if we have Chinese tourists, no, para sa Crown Regency class, naka-OGT ko dito, they are quite really different, no, ang mga Chinese na mo dito nga mga tourists, and they cannot really understand English, so you have to do everything in sign language. And if you like portray an offensive gesture, no, para nimo dili offensive, purpose la offensive na, no, mao pod na siya. Kasi ubang countries kayang ilahang murag offensive nga kaniba. Usa to ang fuck you is ang middle finger. Ang ilaha is, sorry for the language, no. Ang ilahang kuan nito is ing ana, offensive sa to kay peace sign, sa ilang ana kay kuan na bastos na sa uban. So part po na is example of that is gifts, no. Naay cases nga sa to it's already a tradition to have the 4 gift or 5 gift rule, but in the Chinese they do not want that, no. They prefer other types of gifts, so we need to also learn that. So first is the Confucianism under culture, no, of the Chinese. So Confucianism is a system of behaviors and ethics that stress the obligations of people towards one another based on their relationship. The basic tenets of Confucianism are based upon five different relationships. So you have, again, no, they are really quite comfortable with hierarchical nga setup, nga abot na po na siya because of their religion nga Confucianism. So you have the ruler and the subject. So the ruler is the person in authority. The subject is katong, or ang dominant, ang submissive part, or ang katong subordinate is the subject. You have the husband and the wife. The husband is the head of the family. He is the, let's say, ito yung butang, no? Siya ang dominant, and then ang wife is ang maong submissive, no? Or ang maong subordinate. You have the parents towards their children, no? Brothers and sisters. So, sa maigsoon, masking ikaw pang magulang nga babae, no? Usually, it's the eldest son ang maoy in charge. So, naman ang eldest son. For example, pinakaunang firstborn is babae. Secondborn is male. And male, female, ano na ba? Mostly, those who make the big decisions or kuan is ang eldest male. Maski ikaduha pa siya, second-born pa na siya, siya dyan na ang kanang murag head. No? Kaya practice man siya as head of the family. No? So, mabitaw na nga murag experience na lang sa akong classmate nga babae man sila puros, no? So wala man totally disappoint yung papa, pero he was actually expecting to have sons, kay they value sons more than daughters. And friend, so narapod na siya. Usually it's more on seniority, as ang mas mature or mas tigulang nga friend mo ang katong like in control. So that's the behavior and ethics ng stress out sa Confucianism. No? It's between the obligations of people towards one another. Because you are the husband or because you are the parent, you have the higher obligation to manage those who are below your subordinates. Kaya again, very hierarchical po kaayo na siya nga kuan. Next is value of respect. So they have this honor, no? Although gimo man siya marag comedy relief sa mula, no, nga ning run away siya, ning disrespect, I mean disrespect, pero marag wala siya ning follow sa wishes sa iyang father. So makahatag ko na siya og dishonor sa iyang family, no, og katupong time nga simulan kay nag-start siya og look for kay naman ay mag matchmaker sa ilahan, no, unya kanang nangita siya og kanang husband kay mo man ang role daw kuno sa babae, no, nga for married life friendship daw kuno sila kutob. And it's really nice because, again, no, that movie ka nga, you're not only limited to that alone. Nga, you can do things para sa lalaki lang. No? Dili lang limited to marriage and bear children. So, no, abot mo sa time nga, mark pa sa Bridgerton ba? Oh, another example po ng Bridgerton kung nakakita na mo na nga series. Nga wherein, mag-establish siya gani sa society nga, once mo bloom na ka and you are ready to be presented into society, you will now look for a husband, no, and then imong pagwapon i-ready nimo ko galingon to look for a husband and to bear children and to keep the family line, no, and to be under your husband. So mo na ang ilahang kuan because again, no, that is your obligation, your duty. So simulan wala niya nag-follow ng kana nga trope, no, i-decide siya to disobey and to again, no, to protect her family, although makabring man na siya dishonor. So kato example ato class nga unsuccessful kaayo, no, dili siya graceful, unsuccessful kaayo ang katuyang meeting with the matchmaker. Naingon dito matchmaker nga makabring kag dishonor sa imong family, and big deal kayo na siya because when you do one thing, maskin dili siya nga nakaskandalous, no, makabutang ka og something nga makapa-dishonor sa imong family, no, mo reflect na po na sa family as a whole. So kung ikaw muhang anak kay pasaway, mo reflect po na sa timog family nga dili mo pasaway po ng family. O, may ana nga yung anak po goryang ginikanan or wala siya gipadakog tarong, no, dili good yung parents na etc. So mo na ato mura ganig wala na to gilantaw ang person as an individual person who has an individual personality. Gilantaw na to siya as a connection to the family. Now if you do one thing, it will then reflect your family. So, yung anak, no? So, mo na ang ilahang murag koan ito nga, they're more family-oriented And even kita nadala na nato na as Filipinos, and they focus as a whole. Even the extended family is included, no? Even if tito ra ka or niece or lolo lola, extended family ka, one person's behavior, no, or achievement reflects on the entire family. If you have a lot of relatives who are mga bulak-bulan all, it will then reflect on the reputation of the family. No, so muna ilaha dito. Nilain kayo, no? Kaya supposedly, we have different personalities. Although, no, kanitong genes or DNA gidala sa tong parents, it can also contribute to who we are as a person. But ang katong tibuok jud nato nga personality when we grow up and who we are when we grow up is mostly on the influence of our environment, kung asa tagipadako, ato ang friends, even family. But it's our individual personality, no? Para sa ko lang, no? It doesn't mean nga kay abig koan ka, no? Kay abig ka ng gikan ka ani nga pamilya, you're expected to be like this. You have your own kuan man, you have your own personality. Sa ko lang. No? Pero sa ato among ganun, usual dyan nga typical family setup is if you do this thing, it will then reflect your family. And as much as possible, they avoid any conflict. No, dili sila fire starter, enabler, no, dili sila ginahan og kanang kuan, apil-apil og kanang mga drama nga unnecessary kaayo. Which is good, no? Pero dili pod siya maayo in the sense, depende na sitwasyon, no? Okay ra na siya. Ang dili ka enabler, dili ka mapil-apil sa mga gubot. Pero dili na po na siya masayop kung, for example, no, if there is a situation wherein mabutang ka sa kuan nga you need to fight or stand up for yourself. Kung dili ka mo kuan, mo confront ana imuhang abuser or kuan. So kung mo-avoid siya kag conflict, bahalag abusaran ko ani niya basta dili lang may magkagubot, dili po na siya maayo. No? It's okay to avoid conflict, no? To protect your peace of mind, no? To protect your peace. But if your peace will be compromised, like you will be, for example, harm ka, or for example kanang ibuli ka, or for example abusaran ka, mo na siya ang point nga wherein you step out of the line and you stand up for yourself. So mo po na siya ang importante po, no? Kay again, avoiding conflict is good basta dili lang ka maabusaran or matake advantage, or dili ka ibully, no? Or kuan ka magpakauwawan ka sa mga anak. Emphasize on harmonic social relationship. So they would prefer to, again, no, Asians are very sociable people, no, they tend to make a social relationship with on other people rather than be very indifferent. Education. So education is highly esteemed in Chinese society. This value can be traced to the Confucian concept that he who excels in learning can be an official. And I think, no, there's nothing wrong with that, because sa ato as a Philippines, we have a very high regard or value in education, because for us, no, masking dili tatagaan og kanang mga material things sa tong parents, the one thing that they can only give to us is education, because it can take us to places. If you learn something and you have achieved, or let's say finish your education, no, it can provide you with many opportunities, kay at least you know things, no, dili lang mapabilin ka nga ignorant or open, no, or dili mahon imong skills. Next is gifts. So mani ko na mention, no, in general, gifts are given at Chinese New Year, wedding, birth, and more recently because of birthdays. In the Chinese culture, gifts are important ways of showing respect, no? So, nalaw na sila yung mga do's and don'ts, no? Na ubang culture nga, di sa ginahan mo decline ka og gifts. Anya, na pa ubang culture nga, offensive para nila if mo follow ka sa 4-gift rule. No? So, breaking any of the gift etiquette is an ultimate sign of disrespect and dishonor. And you should be mindful of this one, most especially if you're going to encounter Chinese tourists. So, or Chinese nga mga like a friend baron. So, no gift in force. So, what is force? No, in the Western culture, usually naanad naman ta nga, we usually give gifts in force. So, unsa man ning gifts in force? For example, mo give ka og usa ka gift nga ginahan kaayo sa kanila. For example, ginahan siya, maka-receive siya og bag-o nga shoes. So, mo na kung ihatag niya. That's the first gift. Second gift is something she needs. So she's studying right now, so tagana ko siya og book or notebook, something to wear, for example, socks or clothing. And fourth is something to read, like a book, no? Pero hato naman siya book man. Unsa man na, like a magazine ba ron or kuan, no? So, mo na siyang gifts and fours, no, nga you will receive four gifts in Christmas and based on kani nga concept, no? Something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. For the Chinese, it is um dili siya ko ano, dili siya unethical. Number ka nang dili siya ko ano acceptable. No, it's a sign of dishonor and disrespect. So dili sila ginahan ana, no? So we need to be mindful. Ang mga Westerners, Americans, they usually like that. No, miskin kita, we do not mind man. No, wala man tayo rules when it comes to giving gifts. Although, ang ato lang jud nga culture or nga to lang nga batasan when it comes to giving gifts is hala gitagaan ko niya muhatag pug ko. So natay utang na loob, no? Kanang a sign of gratitude or kanang hiya, no nga ulang mong ko yung ikaw ko kay nihatag siya nako unsa ka kung ihatag niya niya na, no? So no gifts and force. Dito mo follow atong nga western nga culture. No scissors, knives, or other cutting utensils. They do not like that. No clocks, handkerchiefs, or straw sandals. No blue, black, or white wrapping paper. I did mention this one to you. Chinese do not like the color black because katong nag-OJT ko sa Crown Regency class, unya kanang ang tag-iya is Chinese man no, from time to time musulod man siya sa hotel. We were instructed during our orientation that we were not allowed, especially if you're assigned in the front office. Purya na lang kung naka sa banquet kitago jud ka. No, di man na mosulod ang tag-iya sa banquet area kay naman ay mga like na mag seminar, na ay mag birthday, so di siya mosulod ana. But kana sa front office, parang nilang good dira man good ang mga transactions, no, murag sign of money mo kana mo nang butan na sila mga Buddha or kanang iring nila sa may reception area, no, um sa reception area or sa lobby kay tungod mo man na dira magpasulod ako ang kwarta. So dili sila black man siya nga di mo wear og black blazer kung naa mo sa reception area naka-assign kung OJT mo sa receptionist or sa concierge. No, dili na siya pwede ang black. Red ra na siya. Kaya nga naman, no, black is not a good a color of luck. No, so avoid the black, blue, or white wrapping paper. They like red. No, red is a color of prosperity. So wrap your gifts in red. Do not open the gift when it is received. Kung kita kay, labi na ako, have this urge to really like look at the what's inside of the gift right away when I receive them. So you need to wait until you take it home for you to open the gift. What are the gift do's? So give food baskets. So they do not like gifts in four, like clothing, etc., no? What to read, what you want. But they prefer food baskets. One ang gusto sa mga Chinese. Especially with cakes, chickens, ginger, and hams. Present gifts with two hands. It means that you are really enthusiastic in giving out the gift. Give gifts in even numbers, especially the number 8. That's the luckiest number for them. Dili muhatag og gift in odd number. Muhatag ka og kuan gift. Although this again enforce, no, pero do not give gifts in 5, no, or 7. Ang preferable jud is 8. Okay, it means infinity. Okay, wrap gifts in pink or yellow paper or red. No. Next is, okay, I have a question for you. This is not mandatory, ha. I believe that if you are not ready to bring another human being into this world because you cannot afford them, that's okay. Okay, children are expensive, no? That's true, and they require a lot of things, no, such as clothing, love, support, education, food, sa payulain. Daghan ka na sila og kuan, attention, tanan. And if you cannot afford, no, to provide all of those needs, then it's okay for you to not bring another child into this world. Again, no? Sayang ra kaayo kay mo na among gi-discuss pud gapon, no? Kay kung mo bring na ka og bata sa kuan, if you are not mentally ready, emotionally ready, and financially ready to bring another being into this world, then don't have kids. If you want to have kids, it means you're ready, no? So, nagsurahan ta ng marriage and family. You actually have the subject supposedly no Theo 7, mo na 7 6. Na nasa sacraments po. No, ang purpose gani nga magminyo is to have children. Mo na siya ang right time. Pero if ga-struggle pa mo sa inyong expenses, ayaw lang sa ano kay kamo man ang maglisod. Next pod is kuan. Another reason for that is sa gani ha. Mo na siya. If dili din mo kaya mo bring up niya, you put your children into adoption. Not all adoption agencies, nato dire or orphanages has the resources to take care of all of the children, no? Ang bitaw na I am pro-life in the sense nga dili lang siya limited to fetuses akong pagka pro-life, no? Nga appeal po ng mga orphans, no? Or kanang mga poor families kay loy mo kasi need to be educated. Na-mention ako nino because we are going to talk about children, no? Which is also a huge part or policy in China. Kay not only to control the population, kay mo-deplete ang resources, no? Kay kung daghan kita diri sa kalibutan or diri sa country, limited ra katong resources class, we will starve to death, no? Usually ang pinakauna ra baan nang mo fall is ang mga pobre. Mga dato okay ra kana sila yung mga reserve nga resources. Kana mga pobre luoy kaayo. Kung bitaw na nga, sige, daghan kig mga anak, daghan kig kuan niya, dili makapakaon, di makapaskwela, mudungag-dungag ra sa mo na daghan kita og kanang poor families dire kay daghan kig mga anak wala gi-educate na di man na ilang sala di man ka blame pod sa ko ano dili man ta ka blame pod sa government. Oh, the government isn't doing that much ako ano. We actually need to educate even in schools. Need to educate people nga dili magpaturagas ra og kanang ko ano provide og daghang kig mga bata og kanya dili sila kapakaon, di sila kapadala sa eskwelahan, dili na mapaskwela, no? Di nila matagaan og healthcare kay wala sila kwarta, no? Kay lisod pug kaayo, no? You can barely provide for yourself kay wala gani kay means or resources to provide for yourself, how much more if napadjug kay bata, di ba? So mo na siya. Ngayon abutan ni because you're going to talk about children, no? Ning segue lang ko kadiyon. So, if ever, no, given the call nga, you really are ready to have children. Kay, di man ingon nga, no, cute king bata, no, cute ra lagi. Pero, after that, can you provide, no, their needs? Makapaskwila ka niya? Do you have the means to support your child? No? So, cute ang bata, pero daghan siya og needs. Same mo gunang puppy, good. So, before ka mag-start og ko, ano, think about getting a puppy po, no? Getting a puppy takes a lot of responsibilities as well. You need to feed it, you need to bring it to the vet all the time, update their medication, no? Ang ilahang ka ng mga immunization nila tanan. You need to provide it shelter and love, no? For it to last very long. Yan na po na ang bata, no? Cute ra lagi pero ang responsibilities that comes with it. So, assuming lang nga someday you are ready to have children, how many do you think you would want? Okay. Pangutan tatag sa tagsa. Kinsay una nga mo kuan. Man ang inyong marag. Ay hala, sorry. Matiyo pa day mo nga time. Sige, we will just continue with our class next meeting. Very short naman po kaayo ni siya. No, and then I'll just introduce to you the ASEAN culture na lang. No, na-carried away po ko sa kung I tend to overshare, no. Naka-overshare ko karon. So, sorry kaayo. So, we will just continue with our class next meeting. Okay, na overtime ta.